Hi guys, welcome back. We are recapping this week's episode of Orange County Housewives. My name is Ashley, also known as the Bravo Mom on TikTok and Instagram. Please make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you can keep up to date with all of my Housewives recaps. Right now we are just doing Orange County, but after today's recap, I'm also going to be touching on a new show that I am absolutely loving. So let's roll into this week's recap of Orange County Housewives. I felt like this week's episode started off a little slow, but there was one very obvious thing missing: Katie Janela. And honestly, I thought it was great. I thought it was refreshing. I thought it was much needed. It was so nice to not have to focus on the blogger of it all, not have to hear the lies and the gaslighting. It was nice, and I honestly forgot she existed and she was not missed. And I think it was really good because it forced the ladies to face their own issues amongst each other head on. I think it was good. So we see two separate local staycation situations. We see Tamara, Shannon, Gina, Jen, and then we see Heather, Emily, and Gretchen. Which group would you want to go on? Which staycation situation would you choose to be a part of? I think I would choose the Temecula one just because any excuse to wear boots and a cowboy hat and go wine tasting. The food's always so good in Temecula. The house looked really amazing. I think I would definitely choose the Temecula one. And it seemed like there was more going on, you know, like more drama, more excitement. We see Heather taking the girls down to Rodeo, and ironically, there's a paparazzi who was not hired who stops them in the middle of the street and says, "I know you did not hire that paparazzi. It was just like a one-off random situation." And Crustacean, where they went to eat, was so good. I love that place. It's so good. And the conversation that Emily had with Heather, Emily kind of like put her foot in it there, huh? With Heather. With the situation of Heather's afraid of Tamara and just kind of pacifies her. Because that was Emily saying that. So she kind of put her foot in it there. I'm so curious to know what Tamara's true, genuine intentions are with making amends with Jen and Gretchen and Shannon. Because it doesn't feel genuine. We know there's no way in hell that she's going to recover with Gretchen. I don't see any situation in this world where those two can be okay. Gretchen is a hater and she holds on to shit forever. The fact that she can't even like be on the beach filming with Joe, who has every right to be there just as much as her. She was on as a housewife way before Gretchen. Give respect where respect is due. I just have big issues with that. She still can't get over Joe, who's married and like actively trying to have a baby. Like, girl, move on. So in terms of Tamara and Shannon, I don't think those two will ever be friends again. Mostly because of the Alexis of it all. Shannon is stubborn. She is not going to back down to Tamara. She has no problem airing out Tamara's dirty laundry. You know, she'll talk about it all. She will not back down. And I think the biggest issue, and she's not discussing it on camera on this season, but I think the biggest issue is Tamara's friendship with Alexis and how Tamara really supports Alexis and John's relationship. We've seen her, you know, at the bridal showers or the bachelorette, or, you know, she's really like a big supporter of Alexis and John. And I think that's so incredibly hurtful to Shannon, understandably. I do not think they'll be friends. I think Shannon is just simply showing up to work. Tamara and Jen, this situation is really confusing to me because And we see Jen come on as Tamara's friend. You know, they work out together, they're friends, they go to Vegas, they have a lot of fun together. But almost immediately, Tamara throws Jen under the bus. And not just throws her under the bus, I mean, she throws her under the bus and drives over her back and forth, back and forth. I think a lot of the impressions that these women had of Jen were from Tamara, saying like she's a cheater, she was having an affair, her boyfriend's a cheater, he's not faithful. And she really forced Jen to talk about things that she probably wasn't ready nor comfortable with. And then we see the next season, she's going through all of this divorce drama. And now we know, like, she just got full sole custody of her kids. She's supposed to be getting like a large lump sum payment of, I think, somewhere in the 200,000s range, which is good for her. She deserves it. And, you know, divorces are never quick and never easy, especially when you have kids and money and you have a new relationship that you are very much parading on TV. It can't feel good. It can't feel good for him or her. It's just a messy situation. But I think Tamara really made her life harder. And I think Jen was really hurt by that. I think Jen's probably a really kind person at heart. But I think the show is making her a little more calloused. And I think that's just the way it is. Do I think she will fully trust Tamara? Probably not. Do I think Tamara really wants to be friends with Jen? Not really, but I think she just is doing what she has to do for the show. Something that bothers me about Tamara is I think she puts on her producer's hat and she tries to overproduce the show or situations or conversations, and the viewer can see it and read through it, and that's when they lose interest. And I think she's doing that, and I think we even see her doing that in Temecula at dinner, because she's saying, I'm sorry, okay, like, let's move on. And when they're saying, no, I'm not ready to quite move on, like, I don't know, and they want to address situations that she's done or when she's made them feel shitty, she can't handle it. She does not like to have the mirror held up to her to see what she's done and how she's made people feel. She just wants everyone to forgive, forget, and be hunky-dory. And it's just not that simple. So then we see her acting out. You know, we saw her leaving and storming off in New Orleans. We see her, you know, screaming at everybody, what do you want, blood? And they're like, yeah, this is kind of crazy. This week's episode, I'm going to give it 2.5 oranges. The beginning of the episode just started off kind of slow and boring for me, to be honest. Next week's episode looks unhinged. It looks like there's a lot of drama, a lot of stuff between Tamara and Gretchen. Something is coming out from the past. And anything that comes from Gretchen and Slade, I'm very weary of. I have a hard time believing. Tamara will tell it like it is, and the truth hurts. But one thing about her is she's not a liar. And Gretchen and Slade have been proven to be awful, awful people and liars. So that's how I'm gonna leave this week's episode recap. I also really want to talk about Love Thy Nader. I watched it this week and I thought it was so good. It was really giving early Kardashians. Honestly, Kardashians at this point can just hang it up and say goodbye, because now it's about the Nader sisters. It's giving gorgeous, it's giving model, it's giving unhinged, unfiltered. It's giving no media training. And please, Hulu, don't give them any media training. Like, let's keep it exactly how it is. Brooks is like obviously the most professional in terms of public persona. I have to say, I had never ever heard of Brooks Nader until she was on Dancing with the Stars. And you just have to watch. It's so good. It starts off with like this really lustful relationship between her and Gleb. And you think it's going to get pretty serious until he leaves his phone in a car on the way to the airport and the driver returns it to her. And she goes through his phone and she finds the most unhinged things that no girlfriend ever wants to find. How all of these girls have happened to find like the most successful men. So Brooks moved to New York when she was 19 to pursue modeling, married a billionaire. He was 10 years older than her, was with him for 10 years. Now he's dating Naomi from Southern Charm, Craig Conover's ex. Like, all roads lead to Bravo, I'm telling you. But she, you know, divorces him, goes on to have like this fling with Gleb, who, by the way, sucks. This guy sucks. He's like the absolute worst. Ugh, he's awful. Then her other sister is dating like a count or a lord. How does one... I've never even met a count or a lord. I've seen Lord Disick at Beverly Hills Hotel once, but he's not actually a lord, right? And the other sister is dating a guy who lives in Florida. He's very wealthy. His family's very wealthy. They're like constantly jet setting all over the world. Her parents should have a podcast. They should talk about all of the things. And speaking of her parents, these girls come from very humble beginnings in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They go back home and they're having crawfish boils and they're sucking crawfish heads, and they're just so normal. It blows my mind. They're so normal and I love it. I love it. And the parents are normal. They're so charming and endearing and supportive and lovely. And they're just like this beautiful family and you just want more. So Hulu, let's go. We need season 2. Fantastic show. Was constantly visually, mentally stimulated. It was so good. Oh, and I also love the fact that they touched on the Ozempic of it all, because it's 2025. Everybody and anybody's been on it or used it, and I think it's like a good thing to touch on. I honestly do. I think it's important because you know the Kardashians would never. You know there's so many models and actresses out there that would never admit to using. It's so taboo. I feel like it'll eventually be like Botox, you know? Like, oh, I'm getting my Botox. So I'm shooting out my Ozempic. Like, big deal. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my Orange County Housewives recap. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Bye.